I'm really pleased to welcome our next speaker, Diane Holland, who is the Assistant General Secretary of Unite the Union for Transport, Equalities and Food. And Diane has a long record of campaigning against poverty, against underrepresentation of women, Black and Asian and ethnic minorities, and discrimination against LGBT disabled people. So I'm really pleased to welcome Diane.
Thanks very much, and thanks for the welcome, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here. I think it's so important at this moment in time to be building strong alliances between all of us around really clear aims. So much is divisive. I'm so angry and ashamed of what's going on in this country in terms of what's been said about refugees, and even cutting the absolutely minimal, disgracefully small programme that there was for children and for disabled people. It is absolutely shocking, and I suppose that's my starting point with this, is there's a huge unity of people that could be brought together to be active around it, and this is a really important beginning. So I'm fed up of no facts, so I want to start with some facts. It started off as 4 facts, and it's grown into 6 now. But things that it seemed to me, if I'm a trade unionist, I'm Assistant General Secretary, I'm responsible for transport members. Many of you campaigning here will be thinking, what the hell is she doing here? She's part of the problem. So I think we need to get these things out on the table and talk about where am I coming from? These are the facts. Climate change is real. There are climate change refugees, and they need recognition and support and safety, and they need the whole world to recognise that. Prevention is better than cure. We know that in the trade union movement, whether it's health and safety or discrimination and equality. Once you've suffered it, it's too late, and it's the same with climate change. Fourthly, there are issues like workers' rights and having trade union voices at the table, equality, and sustainability. And I am fed up of being the person that says, what about the workers? What about equality? What about the environment? That's not how we should be approaching this. It's got to be built in from the outset everywhere, because all those things are interrelated and they affect everybody. The fifth thing is that short-time localised aims is what most of us are dealing with all the time. But if those decisions are taken without looking at the medium and long-term, wider international impact that seems positive and the right decision may turn out to be the wrong one. So that's why it's really important to have that broader approach. But it's easy to say and hard to deliver. I think the sixth one is also easy to say and hard to deliver, which is that we are stronger together. But we cannot take that for granted. I think we are all here with one overarching aim, the aim of this event, but everybody is going to have other pulls and pushes on their roles and commitments and demands, which can pull us in different directions, whether it's climate change, refugees, trade unions, and civil society. I think the overlaps are massive. And I suppose in the end, what kind of lines do we want to draw and where do we want to draw them? The 99%, 1%, or the 52%, 48%? And it seems to me we can find a way of building a massive alliance for action on the issues that this conference is covering today that goes well beyond the divides that 1% of us saying it's important, 99% not involved, or 99% saying this is our agenda, we're in the lead, and the 1% through vested interest who want to stop that. So I think in taking this forward and turning warm words into things that are really going to make a difference from the trade union movement and from the history of my own union, I had a few examples that I thought would be helpful to show what can be done, what has been done, and what is possible, and therefore hopefully paving the way for the kinds of things that we need to be doing and that can be brought to the table. The first thing I wanted to talk about was Chile. And with the coup in Chile, and there were refugees from the Chilean coup. And one of the secretary to Chile Solidarity in Scotland was also the chair of, many years ago, the Women's Advisory Committee then, it isn't now, in the Transport and General Workers Union, and Jane Mackay. And she was able to motivate and mobilise many people in talking about this issue. But in practical terms, in Scotland, they planned for when refugees were coming, and they had Chile Solidarity itself, in alliance with many other organisations, including the trade union movement, and they didn't just work to make sure that people were there, they made sure that they were welcomed. And just two small stories that she told me that made that real. One was she showed me a little book, which was the book she had of the offers of furniture, transport, deliveries, welcoming, filling the fridge, going to the place and making sure that the flat that somebody was going to be housed in, that was provided by the council, was properly welcoming. Flowers on the table, those kinds of things. It seemed to me the stories that were told from those days, there's so many of them, need to inform us in how we approach what's going on today. The second part of this is, I was speaking at a conference, my union's conference, many years after this, and I mentioned Jane because she was retiring, and somebody came up to me and said, I was one of those Chilean refugees, I'm active in the union now, Jane Mackay and the people in Chile Solidarity and everybody there, the trade union movement changed my life. And I will always remember that. And I just thought, that's the kind of thing that should be going on now, and I am really fearful that it isn't to the degree that it was in those days, and this could be part of rebuilding some of this. Secondly, I think what's been talked about already, many of the people that are ending up being displaced are here, will be coming here, and are working in many different jobs, often ones that don't have a trade union tradition. It's a challenge to the trade union movement to organise and involve and recognise them. I've been involved for a number of years in representing and organising migrant domestic workers, who are nearly all women, and who work in private households for people who are coming from another country. So they are very prone to exploitation, violence and vulnerability, and their legal status is undermined. But as the trade union movement, we've been able to campaign together with them, and when Labour was in power, we got the law changed, but this current government has done it down again. But we ended what was effectively bonded labour between those workers. Now, they weren't refugees in the traditional sense that we're talking about here, but they were displaced and migrants coming from poverty. Increasingly, this can be climate change as well. What we can do in the trade union movement is ensure that people have a very loud voice. We can also make sure that we listen to what their demands are. It's not the same when you're representing an individual worker in a private household as it is when you're negotiating with Ford Motor Company. They are very different types of demands, but the trade union movement needs to be adaptable and flexible enough to do both, and we have done. And I suppose I want to reassure you, we're open to that, and it's important. Also, the trade union movement is involved in international links. I've been involved in the International Trade Union Movement's Women's Committee. I think Chidi King is due to be here later from the ITUC Equality Department, so you'll get a sense of what they are involved in. But at those meetings, we have trade union representatives from across the world learning from each other what's happening. Many years ago, women from other parts of the world told us about the impact of climate change and what it was meaning, what it was meaning for them. We have to I want to assure you those links are there, but I'm not being complacent here. We have to build on them and take them forward. Also, I think that the fact that everything now in this country has a global supply chain gives us a fantastic way to make the links with people about how they are directly impacted. rather than you're just saying this is something remote that might affect you one day. It's affecting you now, and it's affecting the food supply chain now. It's affecting transport, distribution now. And I think those kind of issues need to be raised. So I think also every sector is directly impacted by these issues. People know about emergency services and the public sector, but the role there changes. There'll be health workers, there'll be engineers rebuilding. There are huge dangers to people, and people's roles are changing. But I think this also affects every sector. If you're working in manufacturing and you're producing something that is seen as causing climate change, you are directly affected by this debate. If you work in transport and the area that you work in is seen as directly contributing to climate change, you are directly affected by this debate. And if you've got somebody who wants to travel by that mode of transport, you are directly involved. I think the general message of we can't just say how we want it to be, it's got to be how it is. And if we want to take people with us, that aim of the trade union movement for a just transition with everybody at the table and finding an agenda that we can all move forward together on is absolutely essential. So I think my final words are the slogan that we ended up developing because of the fallout of division and hatred from the EU referendum result that we were experiencing. We produced some posters that said unity, not division, equality, not discrimination, trade union rights, not exploitation, and solidarity, not hatred. And I think if we can take that approach into the international agenda, underpinned by a commitment to making our world safer, better, and more sustainable for everybody, then we have a way forward that can mean we're 99.9% working together on this. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Diana, for your contribution. And certainly we've been increasingly working with a number of trade unions across the world, including recently the New York Nurses Association, who are one of the most active unions against fracking now, following their involvement in the terrible Hurricane Katrina that devastated part of America. They are now very campaigning on those issues. We'll be moving to our last speaker before having a bit of time for question, answer and discussion. I'm really